Lucy, Simon, William, head, heart, body part. I won't say who is who. Shall we talk about Sweden's first rehearsal?
Let's
Let's
do
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 this.
this.
All right, you guys, the EBU has written descriptions from rehearsals. None of us are allowed inside, but they tell us that there will be a wind machine and some smoke. Our girl will be emerging in dramatic fashion. First thought for me looking at these pics is I actually really like her new outfit. I think that the beading and the red leather gloves will help her stand out of the darkness. I think at Melody Festival and maybe, I mean, it looked fabulous. It was this dystopian futuristic world, but it was very dark. And I think by giving her a bit more sparkle, she's going to stand out from that darkness. So that's very good. And I like the concept they're teasing in the description that she's going to be interacting with the lasers. She's not just going to be doing her choreo, she's going to be controlling it, taming it, sort of, I don't know, a mythic god controlling the storm. We've seen this before. Angela Peristeri, Albania 2021, interacting with that screen. Nutza Budzaladze interacting with that screen. I just love when there's interaction between the singer and a visual element. So yeah, she is in control. Simon.
Yeah, and as you say, William, I also thought that the Melfest performance could sometimes be too dark for what she's trying to convey. I mean, I know it's a very powerful song and also with the heavy EDM beat underneath it. But what I like is like the first one of it, like the looks like a spider web from with the dancers behind her. The red leather comes out so much more in this picture than anything I saw at Melfest, and I had the privilege of seeing it so many times, both at the Heat and in the grand final. Um, I'm very curious as to the whole ending because, of course, they're not showing that in the pictures here, but that is those last 30 seconds are to me so powerful and is the selling point of the performance. Which sunglasses is she gonna wear? The back in Melfest, they talked about okay, the sunglasses were not the same as the ones that she had on the LED backdrop. Will they change? What will they do with it? But as we know, SVT and Sweden always has a staging that is like stage ready from the get-go. I don't think they're changing much, but as you say, if they're describing her playing with the lasers more, getting more interactive with the lasers, that would actually add a layer that we might have not seen in Melfest. So look out, Felicia might be in the death spot, but she is not come here to get death spotted out of the competition. She's come here to play.
She's giving us life. From death spot to life, Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, do we even have a death spot anymore? Because Ukraine was put in second for the final the other day and came third. So they're clearly trying to get rid of that stigma, I think, by putting this second. It does sound quite different actually, because like when they talk about the smoke and stuff, when I think back to the Mellow performance, it doesn't particularly scream like the thing I don't remember is smoke. Like or like, things like that. I just remember lasers, 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 and then of course the bit at the end. So it does sound quite different in places. I think the outfit is such an epic upgrade, thank God. Because I think the outfit for Mello, I genuinely really didn't like it. It just looked like something you could buy at like the alt girl store. Like it didn't look like something that could, as in, not goth shop, that's not what I'm looking, but like the cool kind of like boutique type shops. It just looked like you could get it from a store on like the cool end of town. Like it didn't look like it was made specifically for her. This looks so quality and like it's just got all this like glint to it. It's just giving like quality and lush. It's incredible. I love it. I think it's so much better. And I think, they used the words Black Widow in their description of
Mm.
it yesterday. And I think that it looks more like that now. I think where she's playing with lasers and stuff, I think that is going to take it from just, an EDM song, an EDM performance to, oh, it's a Eurovision performance, like a high quality one. Because, you want to get away from where maybe Red Sebastian's, this is the song I compare it to from last year. And we know how that worked out for Belgium. And obviously they want to avoid that. So they need to make it a lot more finessed, even though I think Red Sebastian was great. But they need to finesse it, and it looks like they've really done that.
I want to read this comment from our Instagram account. This is Maxio period underscore. it looks gorgeous, but I think the outfits from Melodifestivalen were much better. I mean, look, for example, this red latex on her hands and legs looks bad, but she's still my winner. I think we need to remember that the way an outfit looks in a still photograph is very different than the way it looks when it's moving in light and with lasers. And SVT would have done tests and such. So personally, I think it is a better look. But once you see it in motion, hopefully that will change. Look, we'll discuss this in other videos over the next 2 weeks, but I think that people have been sleeping on Sweden. I think there was a lot of hype after Melodifestival, and then it's kind of drifted, and people stopped talking about this being in contention. But I think in a year like this, where we'll have a split result, I feel like we will have a split result. I just have this feeling a country like Sweden, which knows how to make good TV and appeal to the masses, could sneak in and threaten in a way we're all forgetting. I haven't lost the faith in this doing very well. A lot of people have made the Belgium comparison, which I completely understand. I feel like that performance was queer coded. And I obviously am an LGBT person myself, but I think sometimes queer coded performances don't do as well because maybe, I don't know, maybe the broad swathe of the population can't always access that. I personally loved it. It was one of my favorites. This isn't queer coded, this doesn't have that element. Yes, it's very electronic and very loud and very clubby. And a lot of people say that's not Eurovision, but I think these changes, as you've both said, will make it more Eurovision. And also playing with the lasers, it gives her how do I say this? It gives her character on stage a purpose, a battle, something to do. She's not just walking, right? It makes it more human in that way. And you follow along, you're like, ooh, what's our girl gonna do? She pops out, viral moment. They better put that in the recap. I'd vote for it. You know what I'm saying? This has moments that voters can attach to. And it sounds like they've given them more moments. So to stop my waffle, I'm just gonna say this. I still think that, it's not the obvious favorite to win, but I think this is still in the mix in a way that a lot of people are just not registering. SVT can do TV. This is a TV show. And yes, those are my 2 cents. Simon.
Yeah, and I want to make one point that during Melfest, I was one of the people doing the audience polls. And when we did the audience poll after her heat in Gothenburg, it was so clear to me that her appeal is so broad because you don't only have oh, EDM is only for this demographic, or her age would mean that she would only cater to younger audiences. No, 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 no. This came from everywhere. I remember the audience poll. I think I had about 250, 270 votes, and 200 of them were for Felicia, with 6 songs in the heat. So it's like this has a broader appeal than some of the other songs may have in this heat, which are very more specifically coded. But Felicia can capture audiences of all ages and demographics, and that's why I agree with you, William, that this is one to not sleep on actually in this semifinal.
Yeah. I mean, I disagree about the comments about the gloves. I think they just add that element back in to make it cool. And I mean, look, if the world loves anything right now in terms of music, it's pop girlies. Pop girlies are thriving again. That's been the trend of the last 2 years. So, a lot of people will be looking for their pop girly, and this can be that for them, especially if she's giving. I mean, she has so much charisma, which is quite remarkable considering she's covering her face or in some way throughout the whole song to have that much through the performance whilst covering half your face is incredible. So yeah, no, I think she's got a great visual brand identity almost. She's great. She'll do good.
And we know that juries love Sweden, right? You have to put your name. There'll be 7 jurors. We don't necessarily know who's voting for what, but we know roughly, you're in the mix. So you want to attach your name to countries that won't hurt your career, right? So Sweden, Australia are always safe to give love to, at least, or Italy as well. If we look at jurors in the past, they're never embarrassed to vote for these countries. So there is that sort of built-in advantage, you could say, for Sweden. Televote can often let them down. We saw this with Benjamin and Grosso. I think we saw it with Marcus and Martinez, although they did come, they did well, but it wasn't an overwhelming televote score. But juries, I think they often do better. But look, again, whenever you say Sweden, I just want to talk. And this video can't be 30 minutes. So yes, closing thought for me, question for me, can this song win the semifinal? Can it? Simon?
It can, but it won't.
Who do you think is going to beat it?
In this semifinal, Finland.
Lucy.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you. I do think the sure, we talk about death draw or whatever in second. I do think that will stop it winning. Well, not necessarily stop it winning the semi, but it won't help it win the semi. I do think that Finland will possibly do it over them.
Yeah, I'm sort of echoing what both of you are saying. I do think in the running order, you can qualify from anywhere. We've seen that, particularly Sweden, but Finland has a better draw for sure. Coming off the high energy of Moldova, then going into darkness, maybe that will hurt it a little. But I think it can still come top three in this semi. Maybe it will win the jury. In any event, that's what we think. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.